Your skin changes a lot in peri and menopause. So today we are talking about the top skincare products for women in perimenopause and menopause. I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. Thanks so much for joining me on my channel. I'm a functional medicine doctor, registered dietitian, and a family practice doctor, and I work with women. I work with men also, but I work with a lot of women in their 40s and 50s that are going through perimenopause and menopause. I have a practice in Denver, Colorado. I also happen to be a woman who's gone through menopause, so I have tried a lot of the techniques that I'm going to talk here about today about skincare. So let's dive into it. And first, let's talk a little bit about why skin changes in peri and menopause. And if you see me referring to my notes here, that is because I have a blog that I've already put out on this, and you can find that at perimenopause.help. I'll show a screenshot of my blog here. But that has all the information that I have here, plus a little in the video, plus a little bit more. I also have different categories: perimenopause phases, support tests, trying to figure out if you're in perimenopause, what happens in perimenopause. I also have some menopause blogs there as well, so I kind of cover both. But if you want to check that out, that would be great. So as we go into perimenopause and menopause, and first of all, backtrack a little bit. A lot of people are familiar with what menopause is, and that is when a woman isn't having periods anymore. But there's a certain amount of time that is before that that we call perimenopause. And so perimenopause are the years leading up to that. It can start as early as late 30s. Sometimes it's more common to be in the 40s and 50s. And as I've talked about in my other videos or blogs, you can check those out to learn more. But there's phases. So first your estrogen's coming up quite a bit, and it's kind of roller coastering around towards the mid phase, and then later phases you're taking on more of that post menopause feelings and symptoms where your estrogen and progesterone are both low. So you can have from the beginning skin changes like acne and oilier skin than you used to. Your hair can change. You can lose more hair than you did before or shed. Usually it's not in patches. Usually it's kind of a diffuse hair loss. And I have some videos on hair loss too. So the skin and the hair can change a lot throughout these phases. And then as you get into the later phases of perimenopause and into menopause, you will have some collagen change often, and that's when the elasticity will change in your skin, more easily wrinkled, drier, sometimes itchier skin as that estrogen drops. You can have eczema more easily, sometimes even autoimmune skin diseases or syndromes that may happen that you didn't have before. So those are some of the changes that might happen, and I dive more into it in the blog about why those happen. But let's talk a little bit about some different things you want to look for when you're looking at, when you're looking at your products that you're looking for to help that skin. So like I said, you can have loss of elasticity, you can have thinning skin, delayed healing even. Your wounds can take longer to heal. And then after you hit menopause, after you've gone a year without a period, you can have more dryness and itching. You can have deeper wrinkles. Like I've got deeper wrinkles in my forehead now than I used to. Those are a little harder to fix because those took years for me to develop. They even happened before menopause. I think it's from like studying in med school or something. I don't know. It seemed to happen after that. But so that's not necessarily for me, menopause, but you can have deeper wrinkles. You can have increased skin sensitivity. And then, you can have some sagging around the jawline and the neck. Your skin actually has about, and I say this in the blog, 700 estrogen receptors per square millimeter. And when those receptors start to get less active, that's when the structure and the function change. So what are we looking for as far as our skincare products to help support these changes that happen in late perimenopause and menopause? So retinol is a vitamin A derivative. You probably have heard of it. And that stimulates collagen production, accelerates that cell turnover, and helps that skin look younger and fresher. There's a lot of different products with retinol in them. One that I've tried before and that I mentioned in the blog, I don't have it currently right now, but I have used it, is Rock Retinol Correction Deep Wrinkle, and it's a nighttime cream I've used before. I have a link to that in the blog, and I'll put a link to that in the description. So something with retinol in it is helpful. There's also some lines from Pacifica. This is their Future Youth. They have some of them that have retinol in them. I'm gonna highlight one that I just started using that is pretty interesting from Quicksilver, but I don't see that that has retinol in it. It has hyaluronic acid, which is very helpful, and I'll go into too. And then there's another brand, the Mad Hippie brand, that doesn't have it in there, but the Rock has it. Rock Retinol Deep Correction has it in there, and there's a lot of other brands that have retinol in there, so that's something to look for. You also, side note, want to look for, well, no, I'm going to go into that in a minute, so hold up for what you want to avoid. Peptides. So that's another thing you can look for benefits. And I'm going to talk more about taking peptides and how that can affect your skin. But what I'm talking about right now is topical peptides. So these are amino acid chains that signal your skin to produce more collagen, so they can actually help the skin stimulate more collagen or make more collagen. You do see peptides in the herbal face food that I talked about in my Christmas type video. Not a lot of people watch that video, but I talked about my favorite things. This is one of my favorites. It's like liquid gold though. It's expensive. I try to just use a few drops at night to try to make it last longer, but I do have a discount code. You could try it if you wanted to splurge. This one's not cheap either, the one I was just talking about, the Quicksilver, but it does have copper peptides in there, and I'm really enjoying this. The one thing you need to watch out for with this one, though, is it does have estradiol. Yeah, it has estradiol and estriol. So it has the same ingredients that hormone replacement, bioidentical hormone replacement, has in it. Not as strong, obviously. You're putting them on the skin. It's a less amount in here. But if you noticed, vaginal bleeding or something like that, which doesn't always happen, and some people, most women I've had, I've just put out a estrogen replacement video. I use estrogen replacement. I'm not against it. I'm just saying if something were to happen from using this, it might be, it's definitely not a permanent thing there. It's changing your hormones, but maybe it's too much estrogen for you, especially if you haven't hit menopause yet. But this is great for postmenopause, especially if you're not on hormone replacement, because it does have some hormones in there at smaller amounts and just basically applying through your skin, although you're still absorbing some of them, because that's how we really put our estrogen. The safest way to use our hormone replacement is through our skin. So it's an interesting concept because it has the peptides, it has the hormone, the estrogen, which really does help your skin quite a bit. And hyaluronic acid, like I was saying, it's a new one, so I'm trying to get familiar again. I've been using it, but mixed tocopherols, seed leaf extract, sorolea. I'm terrible with herbs and extract names sometimes. But the main helpful ones that I'm more familiar with that are in this are the hyaluronic acid and the copper peptides and, of course, the hormone replacement. So something to consider, Quicksilver, I'll put a link on there. They're a local Colorado company. I'm in Colorado, but they produce their products, their liposomal products, and their other products all over the place. Most people are familiar with them in the functional medicine world, at least. So let's move on. Hyaluronic acid I just talked about. That is a moisture binding molecule. It binds up to 1,000 times its weight in water. So when the skin is getting drier in perimenopause and menopause, it's going to help you absorb more of that skin, or bind up more of that skin. No, bind up more of that water. So there's a company that I mentioned in the blog, and I'm going to put it in the description, that I've used before, and they're very affordable, and they also have clean ingredients. So Ordinary, it's called The Ordinaries. The Ordinary is the company. The Ordinary is hyaluronic acid 2%. So if you're looking for an affordable one that you want to try, that's a great option. I'll put the link there, and it has B5 in there, and it helps to plump and hydrate dry skin. I also, this is not a topical. This I get from my full script dispensary and my online discount functional medicine dispensary, and I'll put a link there. It's called Synovial 7. Great for hair and skin and nails, but it's an oral version of hyaluronic acid. The one thing I'd recommend, just follow the serving size, so it's just a full dropper. I do take this every night. It's really helped my hair lately. I've seen, like, after I had COVID, had a lot of hair loss here, as you can probably see, um, and some changes here. So this is helping kind of plump that back up and have more hair. I'm not quite where I want to be yet, but and then it's helping my skin too. Watch your liver function labs. Hyaluronic acid is generally very, very safe. We don't see it affect the liver very often, but there's been a rare occurrence when people overtake it orally that it could. So it's a good thing to follow the instructions on the label and check your liver function labs. Your doctor or provider could just check a complete metabolic panel. It's called super cheap, super mainstream. They're not going to have a problem with it as far as I know. Antioxidants are another ingredient you want to look for, and you want to eat a lot of antioxidants. I'm going to go into nutrition and hydration, so don't skimp on that. That is super important, and we're going to go into that here. So antioxidants, so those are vitamins A, C, and E, and niacinamide. They help to fight free radical damage. We already talked about retinol being a derivative of vitamin A, but there's vitamin C, E, and niacinamide can be helpful. So the Mad Hippie brand, I've been using them a lot. They're also decently affordable. They have them, I'm going to put an Amazon link. They're not on Fullscript, but they have them on Amazon. Very clean company as far as their ingredients too. They don't test on animals. They don't have any of the chemicals we wouldn't want to worry about. I put this on after this every night. And then I use this in the morning too. And this is their face cream. And it has peptides, acai, niacinamide, and resveratrol. So resveratrol is an antioxidant as well. And a phytochemical that's super helpful for the skin and the gut, and it's anti-inflammatory. So that's helpful. Also, the Pacifica brand I was talking about before, this is their Future Youth, which has some of these ingredients in there. But they have one that is a ceramide barrier face cream. And that brand is also widely known. It's in, if you have a Whole Foods or a Natural Grocers or Sprouts close to you, you can get it there. I'll also put a link. You can obviously almost get everything on Amazon or online somewhere. And then there's also a discount that I have. I think it's like 15% for them if you want to follow that code, or you can just use the Amazon link or buy it in your local store. But they have a lot of different things that have antioxidants in them. And so their vegan ceramide barrier face cream I have used. And then I also, different company, but I like the Mad Hippie face cream. Okay, what else? Ceramides. So these are lipids that help restore the skin's protective barrier, and they reduce moisture loss and skin sensitivity. I don't have an example of that, but there's a good line of ceramides, vegan ceramides from Pacifica. And there's lots of other companies that make ceramides too. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything on the ceramides. With my notes. No. And you want to combine at least 2 or 3 of these different ingredients into one product. So look for, retinol and peptides and hyaluronic acid, or hyaluronic acid and antioxidants and ceramides. But then you get more benefits if you have some combination products going on there. And like I said, I usually like to use a serum and a cream over it at night, a barrier cream, and then either use a serum in the morning or a lighter face cream in the morning. So what do we want to avoid? What do we want to read on our labels and make sure that it's not there? And that would be parabens. Those are preservatives. They can screw up our hormone function, increase our risk for cancer. So you want to look for paraben free. Now, I think legally phthalates have been outlawed, but they're often hidden in fragrance. So I guess outright, maybe, but there's ways that the skincare industry does sneak them in. So a lot of companies will say phthalate free, or you do want to, if it says fragrance, you want to check that it's from natural ingredients and not chemically derived. So those can also interfere with estrogen activity and make it worse in perimenopause and menopause. You also want to avoid alcohol-heavy formulas, so denatured alcohol that can strip your skin if it's already dry. Sulfates, sodium lauryl sulfate, can disrupt the skin pH balance. And then artificial fragrances, like I said, they can trigger irritation and have the phthalates in them sometimes. So a lot of brands are going to highlight that they don't have this. There's also the Environmental Working Group has, I forgot the name of the the app they have, but I'll put it in the description where you can look up all of your products and make sure that they're clean. So definitely look for that on the label. So you can be confident with Pacifica. You can be confident with any of the things I've mentioned here, like any of the topicals Quicksilver makes, Mad Hippie, the Herbal Face Food. Ordinary is the cheaper, like I said, alternative. They are a clean product. There's so many out there now. There's so many to choose from, but just make sure you're reading and they're not just saying they're clean, that you're reading your ingredient label too. So now I hope you stuck around because nutrition and hydration are super important. So we want to get at least half our body weight in fluid, non-alcohol, non-coffee fluid daily to hydrate our skin. And that's up to 100 ounces. So, you know, if you weigh over 200 pounds, you can keep your cutoff at 100 ounces and not have to drink more than that. But before that, it's less than half. I mean, not less than. It's half your body weight in ounces, up to 100 ounces a day. Sometimes if you're working out a lot in the heat, you might need more than 100 ounces, but that's a different topic. So it's very important to do this because we are losing our elasticity, we're losing our hydration in our skin as we go into menopause. And there's other things that can make your hydration more good tasting and be more hydrating foods themselves. Like, so you could put these into water or eat them, cucumber in your water, or you could eat watermelon and celery. Those are hydrating. Limit your dehydrating beverages like alcohol and caffeine. So I said coffee before because that's the most dense in caffeine, or of course energy drinks too. But tea does have caffeine in it. It just also has some things that are good for our skin, like the antioxidants. So, you know, like a green tea is a good alternative with less caffeine. Use a humidifier in dry environments. So I live in Colorado. It's super dry here. Humidifiers can be a game changer with your skin at night when you put them on at night. And then choosing skincare with humectants, like I said, that draw in the water into the skin, and I talked about those above. Electrolytes can be helpful. People often ask me about electrolytes, and it's almost because of the marketing of electrolytes that they think, oh, I have to have electrolytes to be well hydrated. You do not. But in hot climates, if you're doing the sauna, taking really hot baths, that kind of thing, sweating a lot, then yes, you might need a high electrolyte replacement, which I do have a video on electrolyte replacement. So proper hydration, just to give you a statistic on it, can reduce the appearance of fine lines by up to 25%. L'Oreal did a study on that. So that's pretty interesting, right? Because these fine lines, it's important to do everything we can to help. And I'm not just talking about cosmetically hydration. It's so good for so many other things. And then gut health. Let's talk about that a little bit. Oh, I didn't talk about nutrition yet, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But nutrition, you know, getting your antioxidants, your vitamins A, C, and E, your brightly colored fruits and vegetables are going to help maintain skin health. Getting adequate protein, so you have the amino acids and the building blocks of collagen, can be helpful. Taking collagen, that can be helpful. I've talked about collagen a lot, or not a lot, but in some of my videos recently. And so I've mentioned some products I like the Happy Mammoth collagen. I do like the line, that brand of supplements quite a bit, and I have a discount code for you there. So I talked about their gut health program in a video a few weeks ago. So that can be a good option. The Vital Proteins collagen that you see all over the place is a great option. If you're a vegetarian like I am, you can't take regular collagen. So there are other options that can help you build up your collagen. In Pacifica, actually, they have a line of collagen building vegan products, and there's some other I mentioned in the blog. Let me see, I'm getting what brand that is. I'll put it in the description, but there's some vegetarian collagen options to help build up collagen. But I do believe in the power of collagen, and then the power of adequate protein in your diet to help you have the building blocks of healthy skin. What else did I miss here? Gut health. So I talk about gut health a lot in my videos, and this video is going a bit long, so I'll keep it short. I'll refer you in my description to my playlist on how to check into your gut health, good probiotics. Talk about those a lot. Happy Mammoth makes some good probiotics. Jarrow makes some good probiotics. Orthomega makes, no, Orthomolecular makes good products, the Orthobiotic. Um, there's a ton of options out there. So that's a way. And eating fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut. Okay, trying to cut this down. This video is about to be 20 minutes long here. So look for, when you're looking for collagen though, look for type 1 and 3 collagen. Also vitamin C. If vitamin C is in it, it helps boost collagen synthesis. Hydrolyzed formulas are often better absorbed as well. So as far as the skincare routine, it's good to have a good face wash, starting with lukewarm water, washing just once or twice daily. Don't use abrasive cloths, just your fingertips that are clean. And then pat dry. Then if you're in the daytime, putting on something with sunscreen in there, a clean product with sunscreen can be helpful for reducing the sun's damage. Using a serum like the Herbal Face Food or any of the other serums that from these companies I've mentioned, or clean companies. And then allow that to absorb for 30 to 60 seconds before you put your moisturizer on. So I hope this was helpful in learning about menopause skincare. If you have any questions or comments or products you really like or steps you take to help maintain and improve your skin health, please let us know in the comments. I love when you all share and start a conversation. So I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That helps keep the channel going, and I'll see you next time.